Hello Cancer and welcome to your in-depth monthly horoscope for July 2023 for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some standout details to look out for, but please stay with me. I will explore in much greater detail all the ins and outs, particularly relevant to your sign. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us. This is very much a community. Please share any thoughts you have. I try to interact with each comment, but also I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, I've written these for 28 years. Please see the link beneath this video. Now this month is going to set up quite the challenge for you, but there's also an opportunity to manifest your qualities. And that's because on the very first day, there's a quite gorgeous link between the Sun in Cancer, but also Mercury, the planet of communication. This really gives you a lot of momentum around your personal hopes and strands and activities. Also, Venus, the planet of love and affection, but crucially of money, is in your sector of everyday money all through this month. But the Sun is going to be in an opposition with Pluto in week 3. So I need to share that with you because that can be quite complex. The 17th also sees a glorious new moon in your sign, but also this same day sees the North Node, the true North Node, inverse into your sector of success. Some fated developments over the next 18 months are entirely possible. So much to share with you, Cancer. If you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast, what you can do by grappling with more serious astrology is provide so much knowledge and understanding of life's patterns that can guide you in your future moves. If you give me 3 pieces of your personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This will give you intimate understandings of the opportunities you have, but also some of the more challenging patterns that may have repeated themselves. And so a better knowledge of these can help to guide you forwards more successfully. And in my 30% off package, you can also get your 12-month personal forecast, totally unique to you, both these charts, and will give you searing insights. Please see the link below for more. However, if you don't know your time of birth, my solar package based on the Sun can still give you a considerable extra understanding that goes beyond this zodiac broadcast. So Cancer, as you come into July, having the Sun in an exact conjunction with Mercury on day 1 is really going to give you the opportunity to amplify any individual ideas or plans you have. Now it is true that could be checked on the 3rd with the full moon in your opposite sign of Capricorn. The moon, of course, is your ruler, and Capricorn is the sign the moon is least comfortable in. So there could be somebody that you're needing to interact with this month who proves to be a bit tricky. And part of the reason for this is that Pluto, the planet of power, has reversed back into your sector of relationships, where it was for 15 years from 2008 through to the 23rd of March this year. So some of the experiences and knowledge that you gained over that period of time, you may need to redeploy them again, particularly around your boundaries. So as you come into this new month, there's a lot of sparkle, but also a lot of allure, because Venus and Mars are pretty close together. They don't come into an exact conjunction, but through the first 10 days, they're drawing you to anything that's remotely gooey, calorific, or Moorish. So if you're on a diet plan, it could be hard to resist those goodies, or perhaps there's a more sensual opportunity that's going to present itself. Also, however, the Sun in your sign for the first 5 days is forging an amazing link with Jupiter, the planet of hope and growth, in your sector of future destiny. Now, I feel because you also have the role of Jupiter with Saturn through the first 5 days as well, you can anchor any optimism by really getting very well informed. But Saturn can turn out to be a bit more of a mischief maker later this month. But on the 10th, Mars moves out of the sign of Leo. It's a very grand presence, and it moves into the earthy Virgo, which for you can give you an impulse to move around more, be more physically active, but also engage your mind and crucially to articulate your ideas. But from the 12th to the 20th, the Sun in Cancer forges a brilliant alliance to Uranus, and your ability to think outside the box, but also be very conscious of anything to do with protecting your interests, security, and not so much being defensive, which you can be when you feel under pressure, but more being well poised to balance what works and what you need to change to evolve. So that's a really lovely alliance. However, we are going to see in week 3 the Sun in a very brutal opposition with Pluto. So these are where these experiences over the last 15 years or so are really going to come sharply into focus, and you may have to be very determined to defend your interests, particularly around the 22nd. But it's also important not to try to assert your side of a situation beyond somebody else's rights. We all have the right to see things a little differently. But the 17th sees the new moon in your sign, and there's actually a really lovely trine in week 3 with Neptune. So again, you can balance your individual drive, your single-mindedness, your creative flair with how you're going to expand this, and your imagination can really be boosted with Neptune's help. However, that opposition with Pluto, although it's a bit wider at this point, you still need to be mindful of it. So even if you do try to supercharge something that's really important to you, some kind of resistance or blockage may seem to come up, which can be incredibly frustrating. But then on the 23rd, the Sun makes its way into the sign of Leo. But I should say, just before that, on the 17th, the true North Node inverses into your sector of success, goals and ambitions, where it will be for the next 18 months. This can lead to some fated changes in your situation during that time, but help you to really showcase your talents and gain the recognition you feel you truly deserve. But with the Sun moving on the 23rd into Leo, this is its home zone, so it loves being there, and this can give you even more appreciation of the good things in life, but also more sensual interaction. But Venus, the planet of money, but also of relating, goes into a retrograde on the same day for 44 days through to the 4th of September. So I feel that it's going to be important to marshal your resources very shrewdly and not be too wasteful, but still be very entrepreneurial in trying to boost your situation the best you can. Now on the 28th, Mercury returns to the sign of Virgo. And this is really brilliant because it rules this sign along with Gemini, but for you it can give you a razor edge when it comes to your thinking. But I should just say that in week 3, Mars in Virgo has gone face to face with Saturn. So we have two enormously powerful oppositions this month. When Mars, which is very much about our desire, goes opposite Saturn, again there can be some blocks or inhibitions, and you could find yourself, if you're wanting to travel in week 3, there can be some glitches that you need to just anticipate and have some alternative plans, because if you just stick to one way of going about something, you may find that some kind of buffer comes up, some kind of bump in the road, which could prove to be very frustrating. Also know that your physical vitality could dip a little bit despite the new moon in your sign, with Mars being opposite Saturn. Also, I feel that there could be a clash about a different viewpoint about something that you feel very strongly about. So your desire to manifest your individual brilliance, but also to do well financially and to improve the basic foundational security of your life is going to be enormous this month. but it is going to be important to be able to delicately interact with others so it doesn't get into an attritional standoff. And I think Mercury moving into the sign of Virgo will help this, because it's very practical, but it also seeks to assist and support others, which is something you have an appreciation for. You're essentially a nurturing sign. You're just cardinal. You're much more powerful than the archetypes of astrology you often read tend to see you as. You're not just chained to the kitchen sink making homemade apple pie. So as the month comes to a close, I think Mercury helps you to think through any frustrations, blockages, or power dynamics that may have come up right at the heart of this month in that rather tense week 3.